I'm Kyle, we're here in my home garage, and today I am going to bleed and also inject flavor into this 69 Austin-Healey. Yes, seriously, I'm going to use this on this car, but you'll have to wait a little bit to find out exactly what that is, because first, I need to bleed the brakes, because that's going to be my starting point. I want to make sure that is spot on. I took the rear brakes apart last episode, and you saw the stripped bleeder screw. I went down to the local auto parts store, and you can see, got a new one, matching thread. It's a little bit shorter. It should work just fine. They had it in stock. This is part of why I love local parts stores like Thurlby Auto here in Traverse City. They just have stuff that other people don't have. I walked into the counter, they had it in the back room. I'm gonna go ahead and replace both of the rear bleeder screws, because if one was stripped, the other couldn't have been far off. And pull a vacuum, probably gonna use my vacuum bleeder back there, and see if we can get some fresh fluid in there, because that fluid is pretty murky. And from back here you can kind of see it makes sense that this was stripped out, because everything's pretty crunchy. But I'll thread the new bleeder in and make sure it seats properly, which it does. It's already got fluid coming out of it, so I'll tighten that one down just a little bit and flip the other side too. Now, as I suspected, the driver's side was not much better, but it has a few more flats on it. But it is something to keep in mind, because the threads or those flats for the hex to adjust it, it's not what is actually sealing up my brake system. It is the taper on the very end. And so there is a slight conical seat cut into the wheel cylinders on each of the brakes. And as these thread down and tighten up, they have a machined seat on the end that seals with a wedge on each side. So those look in great shape. They're nice and clean on these. I made sure when I installed the new ones to not get any dirt or debris in there, to make sure that they would still seal as well. So I probably could have clamped a vice grip on these and made everything work, but it was $2.58 to replace these. It just makes sense. I'm gonna have to service the brakes again in the future, and if I chew these all up, or possibly they get a little bit more rusted or corroded and they get really stuck in there, I'm gonna have a bad day. What I'm doing here is using my vacuum bleeder to pull a vacuum on the brake line, because these lines are full of old, gross brake fluid. And I'm getting a little bit out, but I'm also getting a lot of air, which makes sense because it sat overnight with the bleeder screw out. But what I'm gonna do is pull through and try and get all the old fluid out using this vacuum bleeder. And then I'll actually install my one-man bleeder to pump the pedal until I'm getting good, clear fluid with no air bubbles. Because I really don't like final bleeding with these vacuum pumps. They work pretty good most of the time, but they're not my favorite for stuff like this. So I have hit and miss luck. I think it's probably just my technique. They work great for a lot of people I know. Starting to get clear, clean brake fluid, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that pinch off. Tighten that down. Install the seat. So look at how gross that is. Pretty nasty. Should not have much color to it. All right, same song, second verse here on this side. Maybe put that in time lapse or something. All right, no leaks, it's holding. Now I just have to install my one-man bleeder and actually push all the air out of these rear brakes, and then I'll do the same thing on the fronts. I do need to check the reservoir level right now, just to make sure that I still have enough that I'm not gonna end up pushing air through. But the rear brakes are almost good to start. Hit a bit of a hiccup in bleeding the brakes, and I'm kind of all greasy, and it's really hot tonight. And I really want to make some progress, and I don't think the brakes are going to be it, because the pedal still has like next to no feel, and the driver's side rear I think has a stuck wheel cylinder, because things just aren't working like they're supposed to, and I can push down on the pedal and it has zero feel, like there's almost no resistance on the pedal, but the front brakes are, at least I can't turn them by hand, The passenger rear I can't turn by hand, but I can totally still turn the driver's rear by hand. So I think I have some problems on the back axle of the car that are going to prevent me from making a whole lot of progress tonight. But I wanted to work on the clutch, and one of the easiest ways to do that, because these are a hydraulic system and it's kind of goofy, that I read online as recommended, was to actually remove the slave cylinder from the transmission and mount it up higher than the master cylinder so you can actually bleed out all the air in the system. And so I'm going to try and do that. And one of the other things I read was you actually want to stopper this piston in here so it will, so you can get a nice firm bleed on it, because if you don't, you'll expand the piston all the way and there's just that much more room for air to get trapped in here. Push that in as much as I can, and then I'm hoping that these zip ties will be enough. This is going to be my first attempt, is with using zip ties to hold this dowel in tight. And then that whole outfit I can hang. I can probably tie it up right there. So then the line and that bleeder becomes the absolute highest point in the system, which is what I want. So then all the air bubbles will want to go up when I manipulate the master cylinder. So now my bleeder screw is the absolute highest point in the system. And hopefully I can, I will pull out the rest of the fluid in here. Rookie mistake. Undid all of my work right there because I pulled out a bunch of gross fluid, but I wasn't watching the master cylinder and I let that suck air. So all of that fluid and clean fluid that I just pulled up now has a giant air bubble on the backside of it because I didn't pay attention. All right, my idea of hanging the slave cylinder did not work, and I'm getting a little frustrated because it's hot in the garage right now and the brakes aren't going like I wanted to. So I had to pivot a little bit, and I made my own brake bleeder board here out of some scrap wood and hardware that I had hanging around. And I can go and sit inside and feel there's a good decent amount of pedal travel before it really firms up and gets absolutely solid. So that means there's still some air in the system, and I'm hoping this will allow me to get that air out. And I should have a rock solid pedal right from the get-go. I think this was part of the problem initially in addition to that pedal. So I'm gonna try for a second, and if I get frustrated, I'll probably just turn the camera off and come back tomorrow. And if I'm successful, I'll like celebrate. But I'm gonna give this a shot. You can see over my shoulder there, looks like the Healey has an IV drip going on because that was what I figured out was going to work for actually bleeding out all the air in the clutch. All right, so here's the system that I've got going on. I have the clutch master cylinder there, and the lowest point is actually down here. It's on a slight angle down. And then you can follow the line up, and there is its opposite of an IV drip. So I have a stop block here screwed off on the top, a dowel actually down into that. It's actually about this long. So it's blocking off the piston in the slave cylinder, so there's a minimal amount of space that air can get trapped or caught in there. And it's preventing anything from expanding out. So as I press on the pedal, it's pushing fluid in. That piston is completely blocked, so it has to go out the bleeder, which allows me to try and bleed everything as much as I can, which worked really well because that makes the bleed screw kind of the highest point, or at least the best escape. But there's still some air that can get trapped right up here. So I did a couple with it turned on its side, down a little bit lower where that was the highest point, and tried to burp out the last bits of it, and it worked pretty good. This is probably a ridiculous way of doing things, but I kind of like how it's working, and I like that I'm going to be able to leave it up overnight so that any air in the line can hopefully work its way up. And then I'll try it again in the morning or tomorrow evening when I come out to work on the brakes again. I kind of failed at getting the brakes done. Both of these are kind of stuck, and I'm real curious if these rubber lines have kind of gone to crap and are shrunk or swollen in, because I'm not getting much air out of here, but I'm also not getting much fluid pressure. This driver's side rear is completely free, even if I have the brake pedal in, so I think something's wrong here. I think it's the wheel cylinder is seized up, or there's possibly a blockage in the hard line from the center of the pumpkin out to here. The car is successfully stranded. It came in here with clutch problems, now it has brake problems. Stay tuned for more fun adventures with this car, because I don't think it's going to end with the way slow progress has been on this. I started on one project and now I have probably at least 6 to do. So subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you later. Go work on your own projects now.